Hello, lovely people. Today I am explaining my thought process on how I built this chocolate-styled bedroom. Now, over here, you're going to see me copying and pasting that ice cream with the chocolate at this moment, but I'm going to explain how I got that to be. I used a sphere, I used a couple rectangles, and those rectangles I used it as like chocolate chips. So I scrunched it down as small as it can be, made it into a color of chocolate, the chocolate bar. For the pattern, I used ceiling tiles and then colored it a chocolate as well. That is what I did. So, as you can see, I have here transform tool. The transform tool is obviously not free. There is a game pass for that. But if you do not have transform tool, it's okay. You can try your best and get it as close as possible to the ice cream and it'll look like it's like in the ice cream. I just like to be very precise or try to be very precise. So here I am just messing around with the transform tool to make sure it's sticking out of the ice cream. But let's get to the next part. In this next part, I go look for my Christmas decorations. The ice covered edge is what I use for frosting, or the aspect of ice cream melting on the side of the bedroom house. I said house. I meant bedroom. So here I am just placing it. Now this can be colored to your liking if you need it for other decoration purposes. I have many. And no, you cannot buy them right now. It is only held in Christmas to be able to buy this. So I stocked up for other projects previously, and that's why I have so many in my inventory. I think I had like 100. So yes, I have many. So here I am just decorating it. My house disappeared for a moment. I mean, my bedroom disappeared for a moment. That was because I went on the wrong level. Or, nope, the game started to lag. That's what happened. I was in a very full server, so the game sometimes lagged. But it's okay. I pushed through and I continued back to my decorating as I was. Here I am placing it again. Trying to place it again, but it's not placing because I'm still lagging. You know, sometimes all you gotta do is take a step back and go back into it. So what I did is I got out of build mode and got back in. Problem fixed. We go back to decorating the inside as well because I wanted to add it in the inside. And here I am adding it on the outside, coloring it as well to fit the theme of chocolate. Now, chocolate has different shades of it. So this is why I used a darker chocolate and a lighter chocolate to be able to contrast from it and you can actually see the detail. So that's what I'm doing here. And I just keep decorating. It's just gonna be me decorating. So let's just head to the next part, shall we? Because I did end up using some portion of these inside for half of the wall of, well, one wall and the other wall. So one across and one across the other. Let's go to the next part. In this part, I am now decorating in the inside really quickly, and then I will be decorating the floor and the walls to set the theme of chocolate. So here I am just copying the different kind of wall I used in the other build, as you can see, so that way it saves me a bit more time than rather to look at the materials. That's what I did. And so I'm just adding a couple things from the other bedroom because I didn't want to change the layout. I like the layout. However, I will change a couple things in this build for the theme that it is because chocolate is the oldest flavor discovered since 1692. Very, very long time ago. And so Bloxburg doesn't have decorations from the 1600s. They have, as I think, as farthest as the Victorian era. And many of these decorations I put inside is of the Victorian era. Is it factual? No. Is it cute? Yeah. So I went with it. And I tried my best with the material that I do have. I could have made custom furniture, but I cannot come up with anything from the 1600s because I do not know. So if anybody has any ideas regarding the 1600s or want me to do a build on it, let me know. And I'll do my research and see what I can do with custom. shapes or basic shapes to do furniture inside of a build for the 1600s. Back to this. I added some of these decorations, colored them as I went along to save me time, and just so I could get the feel of this room for chocolate theme. So I am just moving things around, adding all this decor, adding the bench, and for the carpets I used a round carpet, changed the colors of it for the flavors. So I decided to go with chocolate, and guess what? More chocolate. That's right, because it's just a chocolate bedroom. So we just added more chocolate in there. Now, all of these colors in this build is not all chocolate based. There are chocolates and there is also the aspect of color of cream because, or beige, I believe beige, because it balances well with the colored chocolate. It makes the place not look so dark. I didn't want this bedroom to feel like Gloomtown or just dark. So I added a couple colors of light beige, or maybe just beige to tie the whole colors of the scheme of the bedroom. Here I am deciding, what am I deciding? Some kind of furniture or decor. Yes, yeah. Uh, I haven't watched this footage since about a month or two ago, maybe a month and a half ago. So I don't remember. This is all new to me. Yeah, okay, I see. I added a Victorian chair. I was looking for a Victorian chair. Alright, because I like the window scheme that I did on the other room, and I'm basically copying the other room, but at the same time, I'm going to change it along the way with the decor. I grabbed another window. That's what I did. And I took a little minor break. That's why my mouse just stopped moving and I stopped moving. You gotta take some breaks, guys. If you're doing any kind of project for a very long time, do make sure to stretch, do make sure to hydrate, and do make sure to take some breaks. Even a little snack break will help. Because we don't want you to fall on the floor after you get off of your desk or your iPad or anything. You don't want that. So here I've decided a Victorian desk, I think, instead of the other one because, well, I realized that the chocolate flavor is very old and I wanted it to be based on time period. So I added the record player. That is not a record player. That is a megaphone. That is not a megaphone. Hold on while I go research. I think it is called a gramophone. Yes, a gramophone. Oh, yep, that is a gramophone. Okay, well, it's called a gramophone, but that did used to play music. So, that is the source of entertainment for this person who lives in the 1600s in their bedroom. We have televisions in our rooms, maybe some of you guys do, or technology for entertainment like our phones or TikTok. But back then, they had music. Music and books. That is why I put shelves of books near the bedroom, because it was very common for them probably to read. I'm saying probably because I did not live during that time period to know, but it was probably really common for them to read before going to sleep. And here I am putting an end table to match the whole theme of this. I will be changing this bed, so I'll be doing that a couple frames after this or something. Here I am adding some lighting. For some reason I added torches. I don't know what kind of time period I was thinking of when I put torches, but I think it was only temporarily. I am now setting up the seating area with its table and its chair and a globe. Why a globe? Because in the 1600s, I believe that traveling on ships was very common. And so because of that, to be able to explore to other places, they would have to either travel on horse carriages, if that is during that time period, or ships to other places like other countries or other islands. So I decided to add a globe. Since this character, or whoever lives in this bedroom, don't mind that glitching out, I was lagging. So, they like to read a lot. And if they like to read a lot, they would hear about so many different stories and adventures and all kinds of things. So I figured that a globe would be a nice idea. I changed the position of the globe because I didn't like it to be there. Instead, I put the lamp, which made more sense since you're going to be reading in a corner. And now, I am glitching. So, yeah, I added a eye mask. No, sorry, sleep mask because I figured they really enjoy their beauty sleep, and this bedroom isn't of, I would say, of common times. I would say it's more of the higher class area, so don't mind me doing all these decorations. I don't know how it was in more of a common time, but here I am just adding decorations, looking for little knickknacks to add in. Did I say knickknacks? Little decor to add into the bedroom. Um, and I'm changing my mind about that end table for some reason. I forgot what I did, why I did that. Changing the color of things so it just looks a little bit better. And now I am looking for something else. Oh, I remember this. I am looking for something that stores in. Nope, not yet. I am looking for a new bed because this bed will simply not do for this theme of this ice cream flavor. So I've placed the bed. I am changing the colors here to match it a bit more and just deciding what colors to put. Let's go to the next part. In this next part, I decided to add a bookshelf. Well, not a bookshelf, but somewhere where you store in books instead of those shelves of books, because I realized it's a really old time period. That kind of shelves weren't really a thing, unless they were. But I decided that this is probably the best course of action to do, and I decided to put it near the bed. So, I later on decide to remove the books on the corner seating area because I already have them near the bed. It'll make more sense later on, okay? So here I am just removing the things that I don't need, like the bed that I didn't remove yet because I was making space. I am glitching. As you can see, I was in a very full server because I am lagging. So yeah, if you lag in game, just go to a smaller server if you're really laggy. What I did in this case was leave out of build mode, go back in build mode, and I was fine. And I probably did that a couple other times. Here I am deciding what kind of decoration from the other room that I did to add into this one. Decided to add a picture frame because I figured that they would have pictures or something of their adventures, or maybe a picture of their family members. So that's what I do. And now I am deciding to put something else on that wall because I already put a bookshelf near the bed. And I decided to add padding. Well, wall padding. I don't really know if it's called wall padding, I think it is. It looks like chocolate bar, so I decided to add it. And then I started to glitch. So I got back out of live mode and build mode, and I went back in. And then I continued what I was doing. But this time I worked on the flooring because the wall was still gone. So I went with ceiling tiles, I believe, in this portion, but I changed it later. So after that I decide the flooring. Here I am just seeing which one fits. I decided to go with that temporarily, but decided to change my mind later. The wall, you see, it disappeared. So I was waiting until it appeared. But now that it did appear, we continue to do what we were gonna do if it would stop disappearing, but it didn't. So we were just doing little bit touch-ups, toot-ups in the other areas before the wall reappeared again. Here I am actually looking for something to place on this wall, and I decide a painting is the most suitable thing to do. So I do. I add a big painting. Maybe a painting of family members. Maybe a painting of a great time at an adventure. Who knows? But I decided to put the painting there. And so I have just been changing the colors here just to make sure that I like the colors that are there. And I'm just messing around with like if patterns or textures or anything like that because I won't know something until I place it and know if I like it or not. And so I am going to add something on this wall because it's blank. We need something there. It's too empty. So I decided to add what again? Another painting. Yes, because the other side had a painting, the other side has to have a painting. Well, that was all for today, guys. The last thing that I do is really just change the color of the icing. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you happen to be new here. I want to do more videos of these explaining my thought process with these builds. I feel like there really isn't many of those kinds of videos. There's more of tutorials on how you did things, but I also like to know and learn about how people went through this process of deciding these things. Sometimes people don't know how or why they decide things when they do projects, but I want to explain it. So, yeah. Be you, stay sweet, and don't forget to be kind and follow your dreams, and I will see you guys next time. That's right, I brought it back.